What's up guys, my name is Devin, also known as FBE, and welcome back to another episode of Footballrs. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the best cleats from the 2023 season. We've carefully looked at all the different skill football cleats reviewed all season long, and we've compiled a top 5 list. For this list, we took a lot of things into consideration. The key ones are going to be the comfort, fit and support, the traction, the weight, the style, and of course the price. And lastly, this is my personal list, so these are the cleats that felt best to me. You guys might have a different opinion, and if you do, drop it in the comments below. We're going to kick off the video by talking about a couple of honorable mentions. The first honorable mention is going to be the Adidas Adizero Primeknit. These cleats are lightweight like you'd probably expect, and the Primeknit is one of the best upper materials in the game. The traction plate with the sharp triangle studs does a nice job gripping into the turf and then works great for straight line speed as well. Overall, these are great speed cleat options, so if you guys have these, they're fire, but there's a lot of other cleats I prefer over these. The second honorable mention is going to be the Beastmode BTA Elite Football Cleats. I was super pumped to get to test these out and they surpassed all my expectations. The cleat itself was comfortable and a great fit all around. The 360 booty fit and the padding in the heel was especially impressive and felt great. The thing I loved about these most is that right away when you put them on, they felt like a skill cleat, but as you start to use them and play football in, they give you just so much more support than a regular skill football cleat. You get a much more stable and supportive feel than some of the other skill stuff on the market. Lastly, the traction plate on these is so special and already one of the best in the game. You can tell they put a lot of detail and thought into it, and it feels just amazing when you're running through routes or just going through cuts. Overall, I absolutely love these cleats. I just couldn't quite find a spot for them in the top 5. Now we're going to move on to the actual top 5 list. Coming in at that number 5 spot, we selected the Under Armour Spotlight Clone 3.0. This cleat blew my expectations out of the water when I initially tested them. First off, they were super comfortable, which is something I haven't really experienced much with past Under Armour models. They also have this unique 2 different material booty system. The lower part is a nice soft foam, and then the upper part is kind of like a nice thicker, more supportive material. It gives you like a real spat-like feel on your ankle, which I honestly just loved. The upper on these is made from their clone material. It's a quilt-like design that makes the upper feel nice against the top of your foot, but still has enough rigidity to keep your foot in place as you play. The padding in the heel was also really nice, but I do wish they just added a tad bit more. But the biggest reason I love these cleats was just the super good fit all the way around. The fit was tight, the cleat was comfortable, and the heel lockdown is just on another level. The cleat just stays planted on your foot and it moves with you as you play football. The only thing really keeping these cleats at this number 5 spot on the list is just the traction plate. The plate now is just a little bit old, it's a little bit outdated, it's just definitely not up to par with some of the other stuff from Nike and Adidas and even Beastmode. I think there's a little bit of room for more innovation on Under Armour's side, and I think this cleat could be a whole lot better with a new traction plate. As far as looks go, these are a clean looking silhouette and they come in pretty much any team colorway you guys might need. Overall, pretty comfortable cleat, amazing fit, feel, and support for a skill football cleat. But they gotta update that traction plate to get higher on this list. Coming in at number 4, we have the Nike Vapor Edge 360 Speed 2. These cleats are just as simple as it gets. These are just a tried and true, low cut Nike Vapor football cleat. They took the original Nike Vapor Edge 361 and refined it in a couple different ways to make it a little bit better, but it's pretty much the same cleat. The comfort on these is fine, it's not really anything special, and neither is the support. They did improve the fit a lot from the originals, they just fit so much better on your foot. They also changed the heel padding. They put these nice little circular pods in the heel that feel really nice on the side of your Achilles. I love that change, and I wish they did it for the Pro and the Elite models as well. These were also some of the lightest cleats we tested all year, weighing only 10.1 ounces, of course in that size 8.5. But the key to these cleats is going to be the traction plate. Year after year, the Edge plate remains king of the football traction plate world, and you guys are going to see that reflected a lot more throughout this list. The plate itself just gives you such a nice, awesome, raw feel of the turf beneath you. The plate also has this plastic grid-like shank that kind of runs beneath the insole, and that gives the cleat its nice snappy feel, and it feels almost as if it's springing you into your next step. The plate itself is 2 pieces. You have a front plate and kind of a rear plate. The front plate has these nice edge studs at the outermost parts of your foot, so when you go to cut, those studs are the first thing hitting the turf, and they're going to get you in and out of cuts so quickly, so effectively, it just feels so good. Now the silhouette on these is classic. It's nothing flashy. Again, this is just a low-cut Nike Vapor football cleat, a tried and true design, tried and true silhouette, super duper clean, comes in a bunch of different colorways so you guys can match them to your team, and they also have some limited edition colorways as well. Overall, the Nike Vapor Edge 360 Speed 2 is nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. It's bare bones, it's lightweight, and it's made for speed and agility and pretty much nothing else. They fit really good. They have some really nice padding in the heel, and then the Edge traction plate, again, is the best in the world. And for only $100 retail, that makes them the absolute best value football cleat on the market by far. Coming in at number 3 on this list, we have the Jordan 1 Lows. Now these are a cleat that me and the rest of the football equipment community have been begging for a very long time. We wanted retro Jordans with the updated traction plates, and we got it. The hype on these alone puts them in the top 5, but we got to talk about the performance. For me, these felt very similar to the Speed 2s we just talked about. They're a bare bones, minimal padding, lightweight football cleat built with speed and agility in mind. Honestly, they aren't very comfortable and the fit is super duper narrow, but once you get them on, they feel like they are part of you. And then just like the speeds, the key to these cleats is going to be that edge traction plate. That raw feel of the turf and the ability to cut on a dime and kind of have that spring feeling behind you is exactly what you want in a football. And then of course, as far as the style goes, these are probably the coolest looking football cleats you can pull up in. The Jordan 1 is iconic, probably the most iconic shoe of all time, and they also dropped them in a bunch of those iconic Jordan 1 colorways. Again, the hype and the swag on these is crazy, and they also perform very well. And lucky for you guys, as I make this video, there's a bunch sitting for retail at $140, so if you guys are trying to pick up a pair of football cleats kind of mid-season, go for it. Honestly, a solid price for them. I'm surprised more of them aren't kind of marked up by all those crazy resellers. Overall, these are not a comfortable cleat, but the hype and the performance put them at number 3 on this list. Coming in at number 2, we have the Nike Vapor Edge 360 Pro 2. Now for me, these cleats were super similar to the original Nike Vapor Edge 360 Pro 1, which were one of my favorite cleats on the market for the 3 years that Nike was dropping them. The fit feels a little bit narrow like a Nike Vapor cleat, and the cleat itself was pretty comfortable. I do wish they used the same padding in the heel that they did on the Speeds. Those circular pads they used on the Speeds were incredible. Unfortunately, they did not update those on the Pros. But they still felt pretty good, and I didn't have any blister issues or anything like that, so overall, comfortable cleat. One thing they did improve was the overall lacing system. They went back to the traditional laces, which was a good move. It just makes the cleat so much easier to lace up and get that nice, tight, secure fit that you need. The addition of the racer's loop allows you to get some really good heel lockdown. Your foot stays planted within the cleat. I also believe these were the lightest cleats we tested all season. These weighed in at 9.9 ounces, which is pretty light. And then again, these of course have the edge traction plate, which we've already talked about twice throughout this video, and it's just amazing. It's simply the best plate on the market. It just makes these cleats feel so amazing on the field. And then the style and silhouette on these is probably my favorite out of any cleat from this season. They included lots of really cool details. The overall shape and design of the cleat is just super clean. It really just feels like speed, and they also dropped them in a bunch of team colorways and even some special limited edition colorways. Lastly, these cleats retail for $125, which is right at that typical price point for skill cleats, but they are miles better than anything else at that exact price point. Overall, I love the fit, I love the looks, the traction, and the price on these cleats, and I think they're very well worth the number 2 spot on this list. Now coming in at number 1, if you guys haven't liked this video yet, please drop a like on this video, is the Nike Vapor Edge 360 Elite 2. If you guys watched my unboxing review on these cleats, you guys know I absolutely fell in love with these cleats. I said it a bunch throughout that video that these cleats are not for everyone, but to me personally, these are a flawless football cleat. First off, these were easily the most comfortable cleats I've tested in the last couple of years. These cleats feature a super soft, foam-like booty that gives you a tight, comfortable fit around your entire foot. The padding in the heel is also super thick and really locks down your ankle really nicely. And then just like the Pros, these do have a traditional lacing system equipped with the runner's loop at the very top. This extra eyelet gives the cleat that much more security and gives you just a little bit more lockdown in the heel. The cleats themselves fit really tight to your foot, but they do offer a little bit of breathing room, which is something I love. I don't like when my feet are just kind of crammed inside of a cleat. I like to be able to wiggle my toes a little bit and just have a little bit of room, and you get that with these. The cleats truly feel like a hybrid between a Vapor Skill cleat and an Alpha Big Skill cleat, which I love. You get the speed-oriented edge plate and fit with the Alpha support and protection. It's just the perfect blend to me and exactly what I've always wanted in a football cleat. One of the very few downsides of this cleat is that they are a heavier option because of all that support I was just talking about. They weighed in at 11.5 ounces. But honestly, when you put them on, they do not feel that heavy whatsoever. They feel much lighter on foot. And then again, we have to talk about the traction. Again, this is the Edge traction plate. It's the best in the world. 2 pieces, edge studs at the outermost parts of your foot. You guys know the drill by now. This traction plate is incredible, and it's been featured, I think, 4 different times on this list, which is insane, but it's that good. Now, the style and silhouette on these is definitely a little bit funky looking, especially if you're looking at it like on your computer screen right now, but they do look much better on foot, especially in this icy white colorway that I got. Speaking of colorways, unfortunately, there's not a lot. I think they have 4 or 5. I know they have black, white, blue, red, and then I think there's a limited edition colorway as well. Overall, when it comes down to the true fit, feel, and performance of football cleat, these were my favorite football cleats of the 2023 season, and honestly, it wasn't even that close. These cleats completely blew me away, and they are now currently my favorite go-to pair of football cleats. There you guys have it. There's our list of the best skill cleats of the 2023 season. Do me a favor right now and comment what cleats you guys are rocking this season, how they're treating you so far. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, like the video, comment what you guys want to see from us in the future, and subscribe for more videos just like this one. My name is Devin, also known as FBE, and thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of Footballrs.